Le spòrs atá bua fór the bear, a van ALBA Kelsey Stewart geisha, Chehuki ora and spòrs lùth-chleasaiche lentig.
My life revolved around sport. Almost every decision I made was based on sport, to be honest. And I was really, really lucky that I had a lot of opportunities as a youngster growing up. And yeah, it's really shaped me to be who I am today. I'd have been in about primary 4, I think, and there was a local kind of 1 mile cross country race came up for the local primary schools. And so it was primary 4 to 7, so I was on the younger end. And yeah, so they advertised at school and I went home and said, oh, I really want to do this. But I mean, I wanted to do everything at that age, I think. So my mum said, you're not going, you're like me, you can't run. Right, so then I kept going on and on and on about it, just would not be quiet about it. So eventually my dad said, oh, I'll just take her. And then I came second girl, which for being on the younger end was quite good. So then we were like, oh, maybe actually she can run. So yeah, it just kind of spiraled from there. Joined the school cross country team, joined the local athletics club, and yeah, it just kind of went on.
Va Kelsey and Tolopanacha share so race Kate meter. Agus bhaim mar farste skipping a halapa ag na gemichin o Colaish and the derby is a hoch jiag.
Oh, it's huge. You know, everyone wants to be a Scottish champion. You know, you grow up wanting to be the best in your country and, you know, to be able to stand on top of the podium and things. So that was huge. That was a massive achievement for me, and I was so proud and so delighted. Yeah, amazing experience, real learning curve for me as a young athlete to be thrown in there. You know, being surrounded by people that you've looked up to for years, that's huge. So yeah, like learned a lot about myself on that trip. Not getting to run in the final team was obviously very disappointing and it probably knocked me a little bit, but I kind of came back from that and was able to sort of learn from that experience and take things into general life, to be honest, because you're always going to get knockbacks, you're always going to get setbacks, and it's important to be able to kind of bounce back from that, really.
As you wigi fáing amach mi ein program trúsiachke, run ich Kelsey spòrs arige, go skeleton iaching, is vai gams it gemichin Olympica gejeuri eing.
I'd always kind of fancied giving it a go. I'd always watched it and thought, oh, that looks like a bit of me, to be honest. So, and then they were doing the Girls for Gold recruitment campaign that Lizzie Arnold had come through just like a few years prior. And Lizzie obviously got gold at 2014-2018 Winter Olympics on a fast track program. So this was the same program. And they had advertised it, and someone I knew sent through the link and said, oh, I think you'd be all right at this. So I was like, oh, I've got nothing to lose. They probably won't want me. I'll fill in the form anyway. But I thought it won't come to anything. So then I got through one round, got through another round. And then I was like, oh, wait, okay, here we are in the final selection weekend all of a sudden. Where did time go? And again, probably expecting not to get picked because we started off as 250 girls. So it's a big bunch. And we did so many different screenings and things, and you know, so many aspects go into a skeleton athlete. So I didn't expect to get on, and then somehow got on, and yeah, it was amazing.
Va Kelsey misk na Shean and Mayedig, agus huli an Niravi, var do the Ellis on a heat tourist, have a training it, Jay.
Norway was so much fun. Like, to be in with such a good group of girls as well was great. And we all supported each other and pushed each other on, because you go on there and yes, you've been on the dry track at Bath, but the dry track is only a 150 metre straight that the sled's on rails, whereas now you actually have this heavy sled that you have to maintain and do, you know, you have to adjust your runners every time before you slide. You have to do all that sort of thing. And then it comes to the sliding and you're going so fast you don't have a clue what's going on. The first time you go down, you feel like you've gone through a washing machine. So that's a way of describing it. You're like, how do I work this thing? How do I steer it? And you don't have a clue what is going on for the first few days. And you think you're the only one who doesn't understand what's going on, but actually you realise everyone else is the same. And we all just kind of carried each other through, and it was so much fun.
Ganiet chumasa ringi sa program, Jack Kelsey other the varach on the skeleton. Achai hast mochtal, this na ringi.
Yeah, I was really, really proud because I'd I'd done really, really well. It was just unfortunate that I've always had a bit of a tight back, and it never been flagged up as an issue before. But when I was on the sled, it meant that my position, I was slightly more at risk of concussions because my chin would drag, and they've obviously got a long-term duty of care. So I was really proud of how I performed myself, but just sometimes you can't help the way you're built, and that's just kind of how it is. And I think long term, they were definitely doing the right thing for me, because I don't want to have problems further down the line. So, but yeah, from an ability perspective, I was really, really proud of how I'd carried myself through the whole thing as well. It was great fun. I've learned a lot about myself, and I think life experience is a huge thing, and the more life experience you can get, it stands you in better stead down the line, and it transfers to all other aspects of your life. So I really think it's been a great journey, and it's one that I certainly am very happy I went for.
Éidir sé tréinig an na lùth-chleasaiche, a Kelsey a cleach go húne gus meorach go a himmert, agus I go with call the active schools gus clown of Rosnachuk spòrs I.
I'm training in athletics at the moment. I've slotted back in with a group at home, training with Zoe Clark again, who I trained with before. So yeah, I'm just kind of slotting in. A very different athlete probably to what I was before, and it's learning to play with these new strengths and having these new weaknesses that weren't previously weaknesses. So not maybe having the endurance engine that I once had. So it's very interesting. So that's kind of plans in terms of that. And I'm working now for active schools in Aberdeen City, and working in a very deprived area, and using sport to kind of try and aid the transition between primary and secondary school for a lot of kids. So sport's been really good. That's given me a lot of opportunities, and I think it can be a really useful tool to help others as well. So yeah.